Welcome to Aligned for Success podcast, where we help chiropractors create practices that truly serve their life's vision. I'm your host, Dr. Nikki and I'm here to show you how to break free from stagnation, grow your practice, and rediscover the joy of why you became a chiropractor to begin with. Whether you're looking to boost your revenue, spend more time with family, or simply enjoy practice life again, you're in the right place. Let's align your path to success. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Align for Success. Today, I have one of my friends, Mitch Quill, here, and he is here to also share his story about how he has found success. So Mitch practices in Illinois with his wife, Ella, who you guys previously got to hear from, and he's going to share the male side of how they have created success in their life. So welcome, Mitch. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So go ahead. Tell us all about yourself.
Well, I've been living in Chicago since I was raised in Wisconsin, moved all over the place, born in Kansas City. And then the reason we kind of became a chiropractor is I always wanted to work with my hands, wanted to be a doctor of some sort. I was just telling the patient this the other day. And then I had some back issues playing football, basketball, track, weightlifting all year round. Did tennis too. So my mom had triplets after me. So she had a bunch of back issues that got fixed. So she's like, go see my chiropractor. I was like, all right, I'm hooked. This is what I should do. So since, freshman, sophomore year of high school, I knew that's what I wanted to do. Went into college, played football. Again, saw the team chiropractor for a messed up hip. And that, again, solidified that I needed to do what I was doing. And then went through Palmer, did the 3 years there. My last 2 semesters, it was great to get a VA internship, clerkship, they called it, for my last 2 semesters. So learned a lot of stuff there, saw some cool things. It's definitely been being able to use that experience to help relate to patients has been great. Kind of learning to flow the line between like the medical side and the chiropractic side, just being more alternative, but having a good insight on like, okay, you're going to go see your surgeon, and this is what they're going to go do. This is what they're going to talk about. Here's what the research says that it does or doesn't work. Here's how your orthopedic messed up because didn't follow the research on that one. If we're going to go get injections, like here's where they're going to do it. Here's why they're going to do it. And then people out tell me I tend to explain more things than their ortho did, which is crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, bring your MRI and I'll explain it to you what's going on. Put it in layman's terms. People pull up their portal on their phone and like, all right, what's spondylosis mean? I was like, all right, well, it's just arthritis, nothing crazy.
Yeah. Just explain it.
Just putting in gibberish. Like, do not do Dr. Google. But what else? So yeah, after we graduated in 2016. We were in Texas. I was in Texas. Moved to Chicago. It was kind of an hour between both of our families, so it kind of made sense. Just in a decent job market, I guess you could say, in Chicago.
Yeah.
So it's close enough to visit families, but close or far enough not to.
For sure.
So it's about an hour each way. We love our families, but we also like space too.
Right.
So we got super lucky too and found two clinics hiring within like 10 minutes of each other. And in the suburbs of Chicago, if you're 10 minutes away, that can be light years, which is insane. Another crazy thing from moving from Wisconsin to the city. And then we did that for 3 years. Ella had her journey. And then I was in my same spot for 3 years, and we had been looking off and on at different places, just because we were kind of, I guess you could say, entrepreneurial minded, type A, both firstborns, every whatever trait you can think of. Not someone that can just like sit around and do nothing and not work. So we had looked in the Virgin Islands. We had looked at another place in Chicago. We had looked at maybe a couple other more, but the Virgin Islands was interesting. But again, it's kind of a trait with chiropractors. They tend to overvalue what they have.
What their practice is. Yeah.
And then even yesterday, I was talking with a workout friend, and he just recently, he's in his late 40s. He's getting out of corporate agriculture and recently bought a flooring franchise in the area. And same deal, like he's been looking for a while to get out of corporate, and now it's kind of interesting to talk to other professions. They have the same problems where they overvalue what they have because they put sweat equity in it. The problem is sweat equity is just sweat. It's not actual equity.
Yeah, it's not actual equity.
Can't value that one. It's just calories, I guess. So yeah, that didn't work out for him. But then he found another one where the guy just wants to retire. Kind of a great, where you can kind of find the right deal. It seems like that's what you should do. Kind of like we got here. The guy just wanted to leave. He had a profitable business. And then we took it over in 2019 with an idea, with a goal to grow it. And then I think one of the things that aligns with I did to really help my success out of school was everyone likes to look for the contracts. They want like the best benefits and all the things. They want the owner, it seems like, to pay for a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I wasn't looking for that. Like, I get my standard contract, got like $500 for continuing ed, maybe $1,000 for the first year. I think I spent that within the first 2 weeks working there. Yeah. So it like basically just wanted to like open up my tool shed or to open up my toolbox. So school gives you the tools to do just the basics, right? They give you the degree. Yeah. But all the stuff that I learned was outside of school. Besides adjusting, like that's in physiology and stuff like that. But doing some rehab things, like more specific, efficient soft tissue work was a big deal. So I wanted to learn that type of stuff. I like sports, ball, played basketball, weightlifting. At the time we were pretty big into CrossFit. I did some competitions. That was pretty fun. But soft tissue is attached to the bone, so we got to work on both. If I'm not the one doing it, at least I need to teach someone how to do it. So I think I spent the first 6 to 8 months, every other month, doing a different. It was the same like method of soft tissue. Each one was about $600. Luckily, it was in Chicago, so I didn't have to pay for a hotel or anything like that. I just drove 10 minutes down the road to the hotel and did it and went back. But learning that helped a lot, just to communicating basic biomechanics to patients and learning those things. And then, I think learning just how to communicate what we're doing and how we do it and how we can help them. Taking a patient to understand like a one and done is just not going to get it fixed. I did a lot of work on trying to figure that out through different mentors, different seminars. Does that explain enough?
Yeah. Okay. So you took a lot of outside classes to learn more about like being a chiropractor. Did you also do anything as far as learning the side of business or how to run a business that you think helped to accelerate practice as well?
I just married the business person. That was smart. That was my hack.
That's smart. My wife.
So like that was like, she does a lot of it, but then expanding my like mindset is a big deal.
Yeah.
So I think doing like I said, like getting in the rooms, being with the people that are either ahead of you financially or business wise, and just picking their brains or just listening. I don't talk a lot, but listening is I just sit and listen. So hearing how people are talking, doing what they're doing, kind of being a fly on the wall, and then just kind of saying fuck it and pull the trigger and see how it works out. Yeah. And there's some times that we've learned some lessons, but then the times like, again, buying a profitable business was a big step, because I don't come from anyone in my family that runs a business or owns a business or is an entrepreneur, or they're all normal W-2 employees. Yeah. So wrapping my head around that was definitely helpful. Reading a million books on mindset. I think I have an Audible account of 1 book a month. I'm always debating, like, do I buy more credits just to read more of those books? That's definitely helped out a lot.
That's great. And then you guys have also implemented Softwave or Shockwave, one of those. Can you tell us a little more too about like what helped you make the decision to diversify your offerings, and how has that changed your practice too?
Yeah, so doing that, I always explain like Shockwave is like beer or wine, right? That's the overarching treatment. But then you got different kinds of beer, different kinds of wine. You got different types of shock waves. You have like radial shock wave. You got the Ortho Gold shock wave, TRT. They got stem wave, a couple different things. So we did some research on those things. And the way it was explained to us is that the Ortho Gold shock wave, TRT, the treatment area is just way bigger. You can do more with less waves. So we decided to go with that one, but then adding that into the treatment plans for patients and getting patients through that, they've noticed drastic differences. And then one of my best success patients was she had 4 surgeries on 4 rotator cuff surgeries, and then finally had a shoulder replacement. And she said that doing soft wave a day later off of her surgery helped her recovery immensely, as far as just speed, pain control, range of motion, getting the orthotic or the implant to adhere better to the tissue was important for her. Yeah. So adding that in, just again, like you said, diversifying the practice, just having options for patients when there's limitations in matter, right? Not everything can get solved by an adjustment or a massage or a corrective exercise, especially with all the chronic conditions at the VA that I saw. Just being able to communicate, there's going to be a certain level of good if you've had back pain for 30 years. One adjustment's not going to fix everything. So we got to do our best to try and help the tissue heal, strengthen the tissue around it, and then try and educate them to move as much as they can.
Is there anything in your journey of owning a business that sticks out as this was a really hard year, or this was one of the most difficult things we've ever had to overcome? Is there anything that sticks out to you?
I'll say a year after we took over the office was COVID. So we took over April 1st of 2019, then mid-March, April of 2020 was COVID. Everyone was shutting down for the 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And I'm I don't think that's going to get it done. So a lot of our patients were dropping like flies. And then a month, 4 weeks, 6 weeks after everyone's sitting at home, working from home, their backs are all jacked up. So being able to communicate, kind of getting that out to patients hey, we're safer than Walmart, we're safer than Target. They felt better coming in our office. We had special hours for high risk patients and things like that. And then just being able to weather that storm was a big deal. And then, ramping up with the associates, and then kind of switching the mindset of learning that if you own a business, you really have a job, not necessarily you're not jet setting all the time. So learning that, as we took one vacation during COVID where we had to shut down for a week, we still paid our team. We paid for the vacation, the flights, all the things. So we basically any vacation you try to take is costing you double, if not triple.
Right? Yeah, so double.
We're then that's not cool. So that was a big eye-opening moment. Okay, if we can get just one person to come in and work, that still halves it a little bit, but then you get 2 people to come in for work. Okay, well, that's cool. I can decrease my hours here and then increase them there. I can do less, but still make the same, if not a little bit more of money. Yeah. And actually have a business. And then that also increases the availability for it to sell. That was a huge, mindset shift for me, at least, noticing that can actually be done, as opposed to just some long shot goal that only some people can figure out.
It's so true. So many mindset shifts. Yeah.
Going on our first couple of vacations, I think we took 2 weeks in October. We were able to take the kids with us. We had the office running pretty smoothly. We're in the middle of the ocean on a cruise, very limited cell service. We came back and it was still standing. People were still there. It was great. So that was...
We just unlocked a new level. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, I remember when you guys went on your cruise. That's awesome. Okay, last question for you, Mitch, but is there anything else that sticks out to you? If I were to ask you, what's one decision that you've made over your journey of owning a business that has really helped align your life for success, whether that's eliminating something, joining something? Is there anything that sticks out of the positive way that's helped you?
Yeah, I would say joining a group of people that are like-minded, whether it's with coaching or just some sort of Facebook group. If you can find both, where everyone's like-minded, they have the same goals, kind of in the similar stage. Like you have some that are in the same stage, some a little bit behind you, some a little bit ahead of you, so you can all kind of pull each other up at the same time. Deciding to do that, even though at the beginning I'm like, why are we doing this? Why would we spend money just to be around people? Like I don't like to talk to people, so why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
But being in there, figuring it out, that definitely helped change my mindset and see like, okay, things are positive, things are possible. We don't have to be just stuck working the 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So.
I agree. Community is just really important. When you're building a business, it can feel really lonely. But it's nice to join a community of people who have the same goals and working towards the same things, and just someone to bounce ideas off you for sure. But I really appreciate you taking your time to share your story. You and Ella are some of the most successful people, and you're also very humble because neither of y'all even really talked about the big successes that you guys have. But I appreciate you being.
What would you say our big successes are? On the outside.
I would say that you guys have very unique models for associates, as far like even Ella shared that you guys like to hire moms because they like you can cover different shifts and do different things. But I think buying a practice and making it $1 million plus, that's extremely impressive. A lot of times, like when you buy a practice, it either goes down in value or it's like a stagnation point. But you guys have had continual growth over the past, 8 years of owning your business and just being above $1 million for the past
5-6 years.
Yeah. And so to me, that's just super impressive. And that's, a very successful. And then also just like getting tuned into increasing profitability, providing jobs for these people, spending more time with your family. Those are some of the most important things because on paper, $1 million doesn't mean a whole lot if we're not taking anything home at the end of the day. But just figuring that out, like how do I be more profitable? How do I have multiple associates? How do I take 2 weeks off at a time? You guys are really starting to figure out exactly how to do that. And it's just really impressive. And I love to see the journey of all the changes.
Perfect.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mitch. Well, thank you all for tuning in to this episode with Dr. Mitch Quill. We will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in to Aligned for Success. If today's episode resonated with you, please be sure to subscribe and leave a review. This helps other chiropractors find their way to practice freedom too. Remember, true success comes from when your practice aligns with your life's purpose. Until next time, I'm Dr. Nikki Cottis, reminding you that a thriving practice and a fulfilling life go hand in hand. See you next week.